Hi everyone, welcome to our first, I don't know if it's first, Scott. Would it be first for Asia Pacific? That's Aspire product update. Um Today I'm joined by Scott Gibbons, our head of product at Talis, and also Georgia, our product manager. Just some very quick housekeeping rules. If you have any audio-visual issues during the session, please leave the session and join back. We encourage that you connect with each other in the chat. And if you have any questions, put them in the Q&A and then we'll answer them at the end of the session. Lastly, this session is recorded and we'll send you a recording after. The agenda today, well, I think most of the session will be taken up by our latest feature, which is the tagging system. Then we'll have a look at some recent releases and then some upcoming releases. We'll look very quickly at some analytics discovery. Then I'll give some updates about our next product update. And lastly, we'll answer your questions. With that said, over to you, Georgia.
Thank you so much, Juan. Just very quickly, let me share my screen. You might see yourselves for just a second. And then we're gone. Okay, it's so nice to be here with you all. Thank you so much for joining today. For us, it's 5 a.m., so I really apologize if I stumble over any of my words. But today I'm going to be talking you through the new tagging system that we have set up for Talis Aspire. And you might have remembered a long time ago now, maybe this time last year, maybe the end of 2024, we reached out to a lot of our institutions to do a discovery about tagging and asked you guys what you would like to see for tagging, what use cases you had for tagging. And I'm going to kind of talk through those today and show you how you can use them. So as you can see here, we have the Talis Aspire homepage. This is our Broadminster University demo tenancy. So when we go live with tagging, immediately for system administrators, when you go into the settings area, you will have a new menu on the side on the left panel that says tagging. It looks really similar to the importances area. So you have your list of tags here, what state they're in, active or inactive. You have if they've got associated items, and you've also got the actions that you want to do on the side, for example, here. So just so you know, when you have tagging go live, only system administrators or anyone that you have set up for your institution, list editors, whatever you have, for example, that can access the admin area will only see this. So it's really only system admins or anyone that you set up to see this. So for example, I might want to add a new tag to my list and I might want to write, I want to make sure I can highlight OER text, for example. And I want this to be an active tag so I can add it to loads of different lists. And I'm going to save that. So then when I go here, you can see that it's been added and there is no associated items here. Now, I can always change that. If I go into edit, I could make that inactive in case that's an old tag and I don't want it to be used anymore in any new lists, but I still want to be able to see it on lists that it's already been added to. And that's what you could do there, and you can save that. Also, because this particular tag here is not associated with any items, you have the option to delete this tag. I'm not going to delete this particular one, but I'm going to go into another one that doesn't have any associated items, and I'm going to click edit. I don't need this tag anymore. It's not associated with any lists, so I'm going to click delete tag, and then that will get rid of the tag. And as you see down here, it's no longer here. Let me just make sure I haven't missed anything here. No. So I'm going to go to my list now. I've got a demo list here. And this week I had been in contact with one of our customers, Bex from Deakin, to talk about a specific use case that we were hearing quite a few times in our discovery, especially with our institutions in Australia and New Zealand and other parts of the world that are really focusing on decolonising and diversifying their curriculum and how tagging can help with that. So the first three resources on this list are some resources from Deakin's, all about decolonising the curriculum to show different voices. So for example, the top item here, you can see it has the tag Indigenous author. Now, what Deakin have been doing is they've been using the notes at the bottom to give more details to the students about what kind of text, who's written it. So a tag won't give you as much detail, but you can make sure that you've highlighted the key points when you add tags. So for example, I'm going to add a tag to this second resource here. This is an Indigenous author. So I'm going to go down to the three drop downs and click add tags. I'm going to click here, and as you can see, you get a drop down. You also get this bit here, but that's just because of the browser. And what you could do is every time you type, the list gets smaller, and you can choose which tag that you want. So I want Indigenous author. I'm going to save that, and you can see what that looks like there. You've got a little bin icon here. So for example, if you don't want this tag anymore, you can get rid of it. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to re-add that tag. And this is also a Deakin author. So Mark Rose works at Deakin. So we want to highlight that as well. So you can really do any kind of tag that you like here. And what's good about this is only system administrators can create the tag. So you can curate a really great taxonomy that works for your university, your institution. And it's not freehand tag. So academics can't add, any old tag. I'm going to click save. And I'm going to quickly publish that so that you can see what that looks like in student view. So I'm going to quickly show you that once it has been published. Might take a minute or so. Perfect. So I'm going to go to view as a student, and then all of a sudden, all your tags are visible. Now, as you can see, they don't have the bin icon because they cannot edit them. I'm going to go back to exit student view and just show you the filtering. So you might have heard that we released a new ability to filter by multiple items on a list. So you can now in the drop down see the tags that you have associated on your list. And I might want to find out, I want to see all the resources that have Deakin author, that are also Indigenous and that are a 2012 edition. And that filters them down so that you can see only this one here. Now, that's in the list. I'm going to show you the new bookmarking flow where you can add tags as well. So here I've got an open access resource, a Psychology 2 ebook. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to click my Talis Aspire extension, and that's going to bookmark that text for me. So as you could tell, this is the new bookmarking flow, which most, if not all of you, have at the moment, which is good. And save that in my bookmarks. And when it comes to the add to the list, I'm going to choose my tagging list, and then you get this screen where you add information. Along with adding your importance, you also have the option of adding tags here as well. So I'm going to say it's an open access text, and I'm going to click finish. Then I'm going to go back to my reading list, and then you can see that there at the bottom for you. It's been added with the tag that I added throughout the bookmarking flow as well. You'll also find the tags when you share an item. So I'm going to share this item and it's got a tag on it. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to copy that here. And when you open up the item page, you can see the tag that is associated. If I go back to the list, you can see that we've used a bunch of different tags here. You don't always have to tag every single item with multiple tags, but you can. But for example, at the bottom here, we've got a resource that is in limited use. So the ebook has limited concurrent users. So you might want to tag to let people know that. Also, this text underneath is a print only text. So you might want to let them know that it's let the students know this is a print only text via a tag rather than a note to students as well. So you can communicate different kinds of levels of information to them via the tagging system. Now, something that is not built yet, the team are in the process of building, is when you go to My Bookmarks here, and then you go to Add to List, you'll also see tags come up here. It's not here at the moment, but the team are working on that. Now, if I just stop sharing my screen for a moment, and we could get the slides back one, or Scott, we can go to the next page.
Yes, 2 seconds.
Thank you. Perfect. So we are releasing tagging to you guys in 2 phases. We have phase 1, which is all of the stuff that I showed you on the demo just now, managing tags in the admin settings area, adding and editing tags to reading list items, adding tags in the new bookmarking flow, and viewing tags in item information page, which is the one that's being built right now. System administrators will get that immediately. And then some things that are coming afterwards, which is really exciting. We're in the process of building them. As soon as we release phase 1, we're right into building phase 2. And that is reporting on tags and tags in reviews, as well as advanced MIS. So when we report on tags, how you'll be able to do that is going into your all list items report, and there'll be a new drop down in there with all of the different tags that you've got associated with lists. You can select those and you can create reports against tags as well, which is very exciting. And you can also, when you create any all list item report in the export, you'll have a new table that will have the tags associated with the reading list items that are on there. So that's really exciting. Also, tags in reviews. When you go into the reviews page, as you can see from the screenshot, you'll be able to see tags associated with reading list items in reviews. We're also building in a new ability to filter by tags in reviews and adding alerts based on tags as well. Those are in production now and should be coming to you shortly, and we'll keep you updated as we get on with building those so you can access those when they're ready. We'll also be adding all of the data that we add into advanced MIS. So our advanced MIS customers, you'll have that as well in your data. Next slide, please. So how do you get it? As I mentioned before, system administrators will have access to tagging related in phase 1 as soon as we push this live, which hopefully, fingers crossed, will be the end of this week or beginning of next week. And we'll keep you posted on once we have done that. If you would like other roles in your university or your institution to have the ability to add tags to a list, so academics or more specifically list editors, you can get in touch with our support team and they will help you do that. So, but only system administrators will be able to create the tags. Just a couple of things to note. In this iteration of tagging, this is only on resource item levels, so reading list item levels. So for example, if you have one bookmark or one resource on your list and you tag that, if that resource is found on another list or again later in the same list, those tags won't be carried across. It's just for reading list items. That's really important to note. Next slide, please. I think that's everything for me, but let me just check that I haven't forgotten any information to give you. No, I think that's everything. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to answer any questions that you have at the end.
Thanks, Georgia. Thanks, everyone. As you can tell, we're quite excited about the new tagging release. And that'll be coming with you very, very soon. So if we have a look at the next slide, please, Juan. The main release that we've had since we last spoke has been the bookmarking new workflow, which nearly everybody has got rolled out now. Just noting on this that the old flow will no longer be developed. So a few people have still got that old flow in place, but we won't be making any more changes to that. All changes and improvements will be on the new flow. Let's have a look at what's coming up next. So the roadmap for the first 6 months of this year. Next slide, please, Juan. So as Georgia said, we've got tagging, reporting and reviews, which will be coming out in the next few weeks following the release of tagging. Then we'll be doing some work on accessibility. We're going to be doing a full updated assessment of the accessibility on the website for WCAG 2.2. So that assessment will probably take place in March, and then we'll be planning fixes throughout the rest of this year, depending on what needs to be updated. We've got a few LTI improvements that we're planning. These are all to do with when people roll over, to make sure that all goes smoothly. If you have any problems with rollover and LTI, please let the support team know. I'll make sure those are addressed and we do some LTI improvements. DCS is not so relevant for you guys, but the DCS is the CLA system here in the UK, and that will be switching from one system to a new system between the 6th and 18th of March. So there'll be no CLA requests for those 12 days, effectively, while the CLA turn off one system and turn on the other. All our systems will work with the new system as soon as that's switched on and we've done all the testing. And finally, we're going to be starting a work on bringing OER and core text into the add resources section. So add resources, when you're in a list, you click on add resource and you can search your discovery system, Nielsen book data, your bookmarks to add to lists. We'll be allowing you to add other resources in there, so search OER databases, core text, and probably other databases as we go forwards, so you don't have to go elsewhere to search for those. As is usual, any UI changes like this, because it will be a change to add resource area, we will stick behind the feature flag, so you can decide when you want to see the new UI, so don't just change it for everybody. You get to test it and then decide when you want it switched on. Next screen one. Another item that's coming up very soon is edit existing resources. So those of you that are familiar with the new bookmarking edit screens will be familiar. If you just bookmark an item, you click on edit, you get these new edit screens to make it easier to do effectively. We are going to put in those across all resources, so you'll be able to edit your old resources as well. We've just got to do a little bit of a fix because of the way this was done before, and it'll probably be about a month or so away. So there will be new edit resources, existing resources screen that look like this. If you're not familiar with them, bookmark a new resource and click on edit, and you'll see these screens. Some of the main changes are things that people have been asking for as well. So making it easier to add items using those boxes on the right hand side of the screen, but also be able to change things like authors to editors is something I know people have asked for. So that will be included in there as well. Next one, please, Juan. So we're going to be doing a discovery on Talis Analytics. So if you go on to the next screen. So what is discovery? What do we mean by that? Well, this is where we speak to customers and find out what you'd like to see. From our side in Talis, that will include myself or Georgia, or possibly both of us, people from our UX team, and possibly other people like developers. And what we normally do is we normally have a Teams meeting where we ask questions and give you a chance to talk about what you'd like to see in future analytics. Usually this would be a single customer at a time, but we're happy to do a few customers at once if people would prefer to do that. That's absolutely fine. And we're doing this because we've got a commitment to develop the analytics across Talis, but we really want to find out what you want from this. We could go away and look at all the feedback we've had before, which we will do, but we don't want to just build something and you guys to not want to use it. So we'll take about an hour of your time, maybe shorter. We'll do all times of the day, so we'll be able to come and do you guys in Australia, New Zealand as well. It's not a problem. I can't promise you'll get everything you ask for. We'd love to say you'll get everything, not a problem. But this time we are building a list of requirements. So we're literally at the base level, we're building up a list of requirements that will go to an analytics team in core text, and they will help us build this. So it's one of the benefits of becoming part of Core Text. Core Text are really, really good at their analytics. They do all sorts of analytics for their students. They have this service called Stream, where they can analyze how students are going through university. So they do loads of stuff for analytics. And we're going to be drawing on the power of that to really enhance what we do. If you want to get involved, just raise a support ticket as normal, and we'll be in touch over the coming weeks to speak to people. Over to you, Juan.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Scott. So, just very quickly, the next product update is on the 16th of April. Just put the registration link in the chat, which takes us to questions. Georgia, we have one question related to tagging, which is, will tags be added to existing APIs?
So the way that tags work is that as soon as, so it will be applied to every tenancy, and whenever you add tags to your reading list item, it will just add to that particular reading list item. So it won't backfill, if that's the question that you're asking. Scott, did you want to add anything to that?
I think Jamie might be asking about if they can, using bulk actions, for example, on the API, so they could add a tag to multiple items. I don't think that's going to be initially,
currently.
but yeah, bulk actions. Yeah, that's not something we currently will be doing at start, Jamie. But what Georgia will be doing and team will be doing is looking at requests. So any ideas that you'd like to see on tagging, add them to ideas portal, because we'll be picking those up and hopefully bringing some of those through in the next release as well over the coming few weeks. So that's for everyone. Please just add those to ideas portal.
Thank you. We don't have any other questions yet, but we've got plenty of time to answer questions.
Also, we'll be letting you know when this is live. So as soon as it is, please have a play around with it as well. We want to make sure that you guys have a feel for it, see how you're using it. Like I said, reporting and reviews won't be out initially straight away. So you might want to kind of hold off a little bit until that, or you might want to just, your system administrators, have a play around with that, see how you get on. And like Scott was saying, please give us your feedback for new ideas and things you'd like to see for tagging. This is just the first iteration of it, and we hope to improve it as we go forward. So it'd be really great to hear from you guys about what you would like to see for it.
Okay, so we're still waiting for questions. We've got until past, so feel free to put them either in the chat or the Q&A. We can answer them.
Is there any more questions at the moment, Juan? So please, of course, always add your questions, and you can always put them in the portal. Always contact support as well with any questions, and they'll be able to pass them on to us.
Yeah. Well, we'll give it 1 minute. Oh, I see Thomas is typing. Ah, he was just saying thank you. Okay, so I think we don't have any questions, so I think that is it from us. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for joining, everyone.